EGC is kind of the modern way of creating a sense of FOMO and wanting a sense of belonging.
You ate with that.
Thanks.
Like, actually.
In the digital landscape, everything pivots. Within the UGC space, what it means to generate that type of content has changed, and we've kind of got a sub-facet thereof.
Employee-generated content. A lot of the times I also feel like UGC is now shifting. Like, you could tell it was, we've reached out to this person to make a video for us because they're a popular influencer. And now audiences don't want to get sold to anymore. The more authentic and natural the content feels, the easier it is to consume it.
EGC is the ultimate way to get not just information about your brand out there in the same way you would with UGC, but it's culture, it's energy, it's feeling, it's vibes. Hi everyone, welcome back to the 4Words podcast. Today I am joined by Oriana.
Ding, ding, ding. Here I am, hello.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your first official podcast.
Yes.
On 4Words. So welcome. Very happy to have you. Oriana is a social media manager at 4Times. She's been with us for about a year and a half.
Commitment.
Love you. Love that.
Love you too.
And today we're going to be talking about EGC, UGC, essentially just covering what that means and what it means for you as a business owner, social media manager, and a content creator in the marketing space, as well as obviously in the business landscape. We're going to be touching on some marketing updates, firstly, and then lastly, wrapping it all up in a beautiful bow with one of Oriana's predictions for the marketing space, the social media space. So yeah, let's get started with current updates. I know we had a conversation about CapCut,
yes,
which I think is insane. So why don't you just walk us through what that update is?
So as we know, CapCut is that girl, especially for social media managers. I feel like for short form content, like creating it on the go, even on your phone, like it's just the best. So something interesting that I found, because we were actually talking about how now we have to pay for CapCut Pro to use their auto captions feature, right?
And I think, didn't that come into effect like end of August, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we were then looking at like CapCut's, like their stats, right? So from 2023 to 2024, they've actually doubled the number of users on the platform, which is crazy.
And when we say doubled, we don't mean like 1 million to 2 million. We mean 500 million to 1 billion users.
That is insane.
I can't even comprehend that number of people.
No,
that
me
is
neither.
Insane.
With that much like amount of users on a platform, obviously they want to try and make money from it, right?
Yeah.
Which I feel like the CapCut Pro...
We kind of have differing opinions about this.
Okay, speak.
I'm a firm appreciator of a platform offering value and then respecting the value that they've offered enough to monetize that value, right? So the features that they know people will pay to keep because it is that valuable, it saves that much time, but not charging an arm and a leg. I think right now the current CapCut Pro membership is maybe 150 Rand a month.
Yeah.
Which is not too bad. Like I've seen other platforms, video editors that have, like they are just astronomically high.
Yeah.
So do I want to not pay for it? Yeah. But will I pay for it and not be that mad? Yeah.
I mean, like I agree with that. It isn't that much, like you said, compared to other softwares and stuff.
Yeah.
But it is just annoying. It's like, for me, it's like whenever you, I don't know, you buy a different LED bulb that comes with like an app and now you have to download a separate app on your phone. Like it's so annoying. Why do I have to pay for one more subscription?
Agreed.
But for auto captioning, I do feel like it's
definitely one of the features you have to have. Yeah.
Especially in social media. But okay, this is my thing now. Because platforms have their own like built-in auto captions. And now we're putting auto captions on the thing itself. So it's like, aren't we being redundant?
Listen, that is fair. I think especially in South Africa, there was a hot minute where our platforms didn't have auto captions.
Yes.
Obviously, the beta features are always rolled out in the States or in the UK or in Canada first. And then it kind of, when they've decided there, then they come and test it here.
Yeah. Which is so rude, by the way.
It is really rude. Like, we're fully capable people on social media. Just saying. Mark.
But yeah.
Mark, we see you. But what I do think is that ultimately the auto captions that are built into platforms, and this also could be an opinion, so let me know what you think. I actually don't think they are that easy to consume. Like the auto captions that the platforms generate, are 9 out of 10 times incorrect. Like one of our clients used the word Hatfield strip in a content piece, and on LinkedIn it auto-generated to Hatfield stripper, and then the video got flagged.
That's
It got reviewed. So like if you think about it from that perspective, it might not be that accurate, and B, they place it so low down on the video that like if you go to read the captions, and the whole idea is that the auto captions help you consume the content if you can't listen to it, but then they're so low down. I'm like, I'm literally looking at the bottom of my screen reading captions. I can't even consume the content.
That is true. I do switch them off a lot of the time because they are just in the way.
Yes.
So whatever.
But
I'm like trying to get out of doing auto captions.
Well, nice try. I do think that auto captions are becoming redundant. I think the platforms will learn how to do them better.
Yeah, but with that, I will then again say, I feel like with the South African accent, they don't really pick up our words that great. It's so frustrating.
And God forbid we speak a different language. But I mean, from a CapCut perspective, I definitely do think that number might decrease by the end of Q4 of 2024. I don't know if they're going to double again.
Oh, the amount of users.
Yeah. Because of the scale, but I think their revenue will go up massively now because of the Pro subscription.
Yes. No, I do think so as well.
Okay.
And also with Pro, you get so many other features as well. Like you get more transitions and stuff, which is fun.
Yeah, that is always nice. And
So
they're
try
not,
it out.
what I've realized is they're not stupid transitions.
Yes.
They're actually stuff you can use and they look
looks
nice.
Yeah.
Like they're not like
cringy.
swoop into a collage or like
Looking
a
at your
kaleidoscope.
PowerPoint.
Real. So today we want to chat about EGC and UGC. I am sitting next to one of 4 times UGC EGC experts, Oriana. If you have not yet seen this woman's content and the way she edits and the way she takes a boring talking head video about information that you probably wouldn't care about if you just saw it unedited and edits it into a social media masterpiece. And I am hyping her up because she deserves it, because it's great. You're doing great, sweetie. I really do not think there's anyone more qualified to speak on the topic.
Thanks.
Specifically within a full-time perspective and what we offer and what we focus on for our clients. But let's start right at the beginning. User-generated content, which is UGC, we spoke about in a podcast last year. We'll link it, go check it out. A lot of that still stands very true. But obviously in the digital landscape, everything pivots, everything changes, everything updates. So within the UGC space, what it means to generate that type of content has changed. And we've kind of got a sub-facet thereof, which is EGC, which is?
Employee-generated content.
Yeah. So what is employee-generated content? What does that look like?
Right. So the whole basis of it is your employees are the people that know your brand best, right? They work with your brand every day, passionate about it, blah, 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 can explain it to any person at any given moment.
They're kind of like brand experts.
Exactly. And they're right there with you every day in your office, right? They're kind of the perfect people to talk about your brand and not make it sound like an ad in a way.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times I also feel like UGC is now shifting where it used to be very, like you could tell it was, we've reached out to this person to make a video for us because they're a popular influencer.
Yep.
And now audiences don't want to get sold to anymore. We're getting sold to like so much every day. We don't want to see stuff like that anymore. So the more authentic and natural the content feels, the easier it is to consume it.
Yeah. Ironically, I know like the fact that people, companies, organizations, brands remunerate influencers or smaller creators, agencies for what we call user-generated content, that's not going to go away. Like I think there'll always be some element of we've been paid for this and this is our opinion. Like that will always reign true. But what's so prevalent now is this whole concept of pivoting more towards the genuine experience. Like if you are a brand and you are paying someone, whether it's an agency, whether it's an influencer, whether it's a micro-influencer, and you are gifting them products, be open to genuine feedback. Be open to genuine responses in order to create content that is authentic. So for example, if it's an influencer that you're reaching out to through an agency and say now for example you're a supplement in the fitness space, but you're reaching out to an influencer who is focused on fashion, that's gonna come across so inauthentic. And that is where UGC becomes extra ineffective. On the other side of that though, like Oriana said, EGC is the ultimate way to get not just information about your brand out there in the same way you would with UGC, but it's culture,
Yes.
It's energy, it's feeling, it's vibes, it's relatability. It's almost in a way, like I haven't thought about it this way, but EGC is kind of the modern way of creating a sense of FOMO and wanting a sense of belonging.
You ate with that.
Thanks.
Like actually, that makes sense.
So EGC, similar to UGC, can take a lot of different forms. Something that we've loved at 4Time is not just your run-of-the-mill, standard, obvious EGC, where Oriana's in front of the camera, she's talking about content for 4Time, whether it's a social media marketing update or it is an analytical insight or a tip or trick. That's EGC, but it's very blatant EGC.
Yes.
What we've really enjoyed doing so far is actually incorporating our team's voices and perspectives into the content that we push out as a brand that is not so obviously Oriana or obviously John Michael, obviously Kate or Elsie. So for example, we recently published an article all about hierarchy and feedback.
Yeah.
And the entire topic was sparked by a conversation that we had with John Michael, where he just randomly dropped this little pearl of wisdom, where he was like, we were speaking about like feedback, and he used that feedback should always be the 3 C's: concise, constructive, and critical.
Yeah.
And I literally sent that to Kate and I was like, this is a blog post. Like, let's talk about it. And she built it out into this beautiful article talking about how hierarchical feedback doesn't work nowadays. You have to be open to giving feedback regardless of those lines.
Yeah.
Because that's where the real value sits. And I think for me, that's where EGC becomes really powerful, because then there's like this undertone of representation from your employees in the content and the brand that you're building, which ultimately, in my opinion, is how you build a brand of impact.
And I feel like even doing it that way, where you don't just create a video, it can also be like an article or whatever, like you said, is such an easy way to incorporate employees that are also not comfortable on camera. Because
100%.
that is a massive challenge that businesses face as well. It's like, okay, cool, let's do this EGC thing. It's going to be great. And then you go to the office and everyone's like, no, sorry.
I don't want to film.
Yeah.
And I think that's where UGC can kind of fill those gaps. UGC can be your video content. EGC can be candid photos in the office with, you know, a quick snippet from your CEO. EGC can be an article. EGC can be
a thread.
A thread. Something super short, simple, and easy, and essentially allowing your employees within your company to help you build your brand in a really authentic way. So, yeah, I'm very pro EGC. I think it is, like I said, the most authentic way to build your brand. And ultimately, EGC is the sub-facet of UGC. So if you do struggle with getting people in front of the camera, that's where you can bring in an agency. That's where you can bring in a team that specializes in content creation to still get your message across without having to put that on your employees to do, but still capitalizing on the fact that your employees are valuable. They have information that your audience wants to know. So give it to them. Hopping through to Foresight, which is a segment where we give our predictions and our I told you so, hopefully, moments in and around the marketing space, social media, etc. So today, Oriana has a foresight for us.
Okay. Basically, what I've seen happening in social media platforms, Meta has basically introduced views as their primary metric across like Instagram and Facebook, basically. So what
Thoughts,
does that
feelings,
mean?
concerns.
What does that mean? That means now, and I was telling Wanya this morning because I was doing reporting, I'm like, why does everything look different in the analytics page? Like, this is so weird. They don't have like the normal, how it used to be, like reach, engagement, followers, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I panic because I don't like change on social media.
Especially analytics. Like, I think,
like, guys, we've been tracking the same metrics for years, and now you want me to look at views.
not even years, dude. Like, if you think about it, if this change happens in the middle of a campaign, like imagine you're doing a 3-month campaign for a client, a launch campaign, and then all of a sudden your main metrics completely change. Have you had a look if you can see, can you see any of those old metrics? Like, has reach completely disappeared?
You can. I did find it, but it's difficult to find. Like, it's not just right there where it used to be.
So for example, if you are not in the social media space, if you're a company and you are reporting for your own company and you don't necessarily know where to go and look or to keep looking, you'll kind of change up your whole reporting structure for a feature or a layout that might just pivot away.
Yeah. Like, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
Like we've spoken about in the past, we're moving much more into video content.
Yes.
So to focus on views, I kind of get it. But then again, then it's the whole question of like, what does a view even mean? Because then I was reading up on it and I saw that for Facebook, like 1 millisecond is a view. Whereas on TikTok, it's like 1 second. And then maybe on another platform,
on Pinterest, it's like 3 seconds.
3 seconds. And like, guys, it's not even the same metric across all
different platforms. It's really annoying.
It's not giving.
It's really, really, really annoying.
It's not
really annoying. Especially considering, I think analytics in social media, analytics in marketing, unless you have very specific metrics, very specific outcomes, and you put budget behind it, it is almost impossible to track your return on investment. So we as an entire industry have been working very specifically towards key success metrics like reach, engagement, which is a massive one. So for the focus to move purely to views, I'm not a fan of. I do, however, think that the more we report moving forward with views, the more beneficial it will be because of the fact that we are almost entirely producing video content. So Oriana,
yes,
what is your foresight?
So with this new metric being introduced, I feel like, first of all, everyone's going to panic.
Yeah.
Secondly, we're going to calm down and we're going to realize, okay, we're all moving towards more video content anyway, right? Mm-hmm. Especially within the agency space, we're moving more and more towards video, and that's what the platforms want us to move into anyway, right? And the platforms are also pushing us in that direction. And with this new change, they're kind of exclusively wanting us to report on that as well.
Yeah.
I feel like video more than ever is going to become bigger.
100%.
And I do feel like there is still a place for static, but maybe that will be like paid ads only.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's actually something we should discuss in another episode, because I have actually seen those statistical differences before between static paid ads content and video. Like I think video has a higher likelihood of potentially converting. In terms of visibility, however, I've actually seen more for less with graphic content. So I completely agree. I think it is going to be the one space where there's a lot of testing still happening between video and graphic. But when it comes to organic content,
video all the way.
All you should be producing. And when I say that, I don't mean that without any gray area. There's always gray area. But from a performance perspective, video, you are getting the most for the least.
So get in front of the camera. Get your mom in front of the camera, your dog, your employees.
Yeah. Do you know how good dog content performs?
Yeah. I do a dog meme like once a month. I do, like the green screen memes. I love dog memes.
Those. Thank you for joining us for another 4Words episode. Oriana, thank you for your time, your effort, and your intellectual contribution. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions or anything to add to the discussion as per usual. As John Michael said behind the camera, call me, beep me if you want to reach me. If you need, if you want to know anything else about content creation, strategies, social media marketing, definitely get in touch. Head over to 4time.co.za and let us make an impact on your brand. Bye.